I'm Justin Benn. I played for Western Province in South Africa and also Stellenbosch University. Interesting, Frankie Horn, which is actually the Elephants general manager and coach, we met at a school that we had an all-boys evening. And he asked me, listen up, are you keen for an opportunity in the States and to travel and coach around the world? And I said, I'm pretty much keen to do that. And that's about 5 years ago that I joined the Rhinos Rugby Academy. And to think about it now, it's 5 years later with amazing memories. And now also being part of the Cape Town Wild Dogs. Yeah, so my background, it's like I've mentioned, it's like I started with, of course, a rugby player, and always loved the game, and switched over to coaching, and in a very young age while I was still playing, and it's always good to try at my best to give back to the youngsters and what you've learned from coaches, and again when I started with Rhinos Rugby Academy, I had that opportunity to work with players around the world, and especially in the USA as well, when we come out here and we train and all that stuff. And I mean, again, from my background coming from South Africa, we kind of born with the ball, if I can put it that way, and it's always good to share what we know to players around the world, and again to get involved with the Cape Town Wild Dogs, wearing different hats as a general manager and also being the coach of the women's team. And it's again, you always need to know kind of what you're busy with now, so it keeps you busy and on your toes, and again as a coach, just again to give back. I think it's quite amazing. So the quality that I look for players is you also see it in the Wild Dogs team as well. Just the players that are willing to work hard for kind of that franchise or that brand or that team, and what we kind of create is that believe in what the brand stands for. And our mission statement for the Cape Town Wild Dogs is to move, hunt and feed together, and then that foster the culture in our community. And I'm looking for players that can buy into that, players that want to believe in what the Wild Dogs stand for. You'll see, so we have the Wild Dogs, as every letter stand for something, and I'll give one example. So the dogs, the S of dogs for us is selflessness, and for people to be selfless in the way that they play, the way that they kind of not just on the field but off the field also just want to contribute and give back. This year it's my 3rd year being part of the Cape Town Wild Dogs, and the first year I've started as only the head coach of the women's team, and then I moved into that franchise role as well. So it's how can we build a brand? So we're looking to get players in that again wants to buy into what the Cape Town Wild Dogs stand for and the Southern African region, but not just limiting it to that alone. It's also getting players from New Zealand, Jamaica, UK, and just again to give players kind of more of kind of that experience of the different world and the different cultures and all mashed in together. I think that's what at the moment the qualities I'm looking for into a team, and that will kind of build a brand for us. So again, the identity and the culture within our team, and how we will also, on the field, off the field, I said it already, the move, hunt and feed together. So the way we train, like say the defense, if we talk about defense, we'll bring that out and say, listen up, how can we hunt as a pack? And that's important for us, and we'll highlight that. Off the field, how can we make people more part of the pack? And again, when we move and we feed together within the culture and the community, it's like already with if I think back of last year with South Africa when we were there, just the kids that we were out there with the kids and how they just wanted to be part of the Wild Dogs. And again, with our identity, I already said selflessness, for example, and just for us is that teamwork, that Wild Dogs, that back. How can we bring it out on and off the field? It's something that's quite special for us as the brand. So a breakthrough moment for us, and for me particularly in the Wild Dogs, was so 2022 we ended up being in the final, and again players from different areas, aiming for that success to win it, and we were just short of it. And last year the same thing with the women's team as well. And I must say, this year playing in the franchise in the series, finally just lifting the trophy with the team was actually a collective hard work, not just from a coaching point of view, but literally all the players that played prior to this in 2023, 2022, to kind of build to what this product is on the field at the moment. I must say that was a breakthrough moment for me as a coach, and definitely a special moment that I'll hold on to for quite some time. Again, I think just understanding what the Wild Dogs stand for players, and again for us each year, it's I mean, you're just saying, how can we keep that traditions alive? And just one thing, when players leave the franchise, or they finish for that year, you know, what will make them feel part of it the next year? Maybe they're not part of the team because they moved on and played for the national team. And again, that's what, for us, the pack, the family, that family environment. We still have our WhatsApp groups of players that of 2023 and 2022, and how they still contribute and send videos to the new Wild Dogs. So for us, it's that kind of just that identity of that sense of belonging, although we've moved on. For us is also very important, and again, I think that family environment where players just can feel like they can go and express themselves on the field, and I think that's one thing that's important for us. We also refer to back the pack. We'll talk about that. So it's just every individual in our team. We have 20 players in our squad, and everybody kind of contributes to the success of the team at the end of the day. So for us, that's kind of quite important. So important values for us. Again, so Wild Dogs that we spoke about is that the I for us, the I of Wild Dogs, is to inspire on and off the field. And how can each player or each Wild Dog in the team be an inspiration for the next youngster that will come up, and you'll see something special with a Rugby 10s championship with our youth players, the U18 girls and boys. They'll be next to the field. And they would want to support us, and how do we interact with them, because together we'll make that success. So I think for us, just that, you know, building up others through to the way that we are and the way we play. So that's important. So a coaching style, kind of how it will adapt from both. It's a very fast-paced game at 10s as well. You know, some people refer to it as being closer to the 15s. Others will say it's closer to 7s. But finding that good balance is important. And again, having that 3 extra players on the field, you know, just the way our approach will just be a little bit different on attack and defense, and just to make sure that you can create that space. Again, there's less of a space, but I also think that the team selection, it's the difference between having a tallish prop is important for us, but a worker as well. And you know, if I now mention prop, people think it's a traditional 15s prop. We'll look more for centers that can play on prop, and that just means it's you know, give more mobile players an opportunity in the team, and so we want to move the ball around a bit. And then if you also look at our backline, our wingers, speed kills, and we know that speed is important for us and also in the competition, and we'll always look for players like that. So I think changing the coaching style won't change that much, but I think just in terms of the team selection is something that we have to be thinking outside the box to make sure that you can compete with other franchises that at the moment is also doing really well. So the impact that I think it's important to leave the players when they move on, when I move on. Again, I think that sense of enjoyment and the sense of expressing themselves. I mentioned earlier about having that family kind of feel, and I think it's showing in the team. And if you know, if I move on or the players move on, where they can feel like, listen up. As a player, I've been with the team for other month for the series, or for a week for the championship, where they can feel like, listen up, I had such a great experience in my rugby that I can take it forward. If they're in the end of their career, I'll mention a player, Shonali Weston. She's our captain of the team. She's towards the end of the career. So how can this kind of form her highlight of her career, and just being that cherry on the cake, if I can put it that. Others are youngsters, and how can they use it off and take it further in their journey. So I think it's if that's that sense of leaving it with something, it's that they had a great experience where they can express themselves and just take it forward. And again, on the last point, being the general manager of the franchise, we're still a young brand. It's now only 4 years old. If you think of it, the baby's growing, and how can we, through the way that we are as people, the way that we kind of conduct ourselves on and off the field, through our initiatives, our outreaches, how can we build that into something, if you look forward in 3 to 5 years, say that it's a brand that can be well known within the community around the world, and that really inspires people. So that's kind of where we're driving towards with this. And I've mentioned the mission statement. Our vision statement is to be that symbol of excellence, but not just excellence through winning, but excellence through how we do things on and off the field. And again, you know, that would be something that I would hope from a general manager point of view, we or myself also help drive. And when I give that hat over to somebody else, it feels like they can just continue with building the brand.